Welcome everyone to the third episode of Fireside Chirps. Thanks for joining us again. We have a great guest with us today, Kelly Knutson, but before we get into that, let's go with introductions. We're gonna go with our name, department, and our favorite weather, and what we like to do in that weather. Sandra, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, thanks, Olivia. Hey, everyone. I'm Sandra Miola. I'm the director of the Coalition for the Delaware River Watershed in the Government Relations Department. My favorite weather has to be what we all exhibited last weekend, which was a nice, low 70s, sunshine, slight breeze in the air. I actually took a drive about half hour from where I live in Freeholds down to Bradley Beach, where I used to live. And the mayor of Bradley Beach actually just recently reopened the beach and boardwalk, feeling comfortable about how residents down there have been adhering to social distancing guidelines. So I did bring my mask, and it was a really nice day just to kind of I did a nice little jog on the beach, and I laid down and soaked in some sun. So kind of a little bit of a beach mom in that way. So balance is everything for me. But yeah, that's me.
Hi, Drew Tompkins, the Director of Policy with the New Jersey Audubon Government Relations Department. And I'm going to have to second Sandra. I love that weather where it's, just high 60s, low 70s, maybe a light breeze, sunny out, and, when I can get out early in the morning and go golfing. So Sandra actually sent me a picture of her with her mask on the boardwalk that morning last weekend, and I sent her a picture of me on the 9th hole at about 8:30 in the morning, because I had already gotten through 9 holes at that time, and it was just gorgeous weather. And so that's my favorite, and the thing I like to do, of course, as I describe, is golf. So then turn it over to Kelly.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me. My name is Kelly Knutson, State Policy Manager based in the Government Relations Office in downtown Trenton. While I love bathing in the sun, I feel like I have an unpopular opinion where I love the drizzle weather. I love it when it's a little rainy. It's perfect to just hit the trails. There's really no one out there. You can have this peace of mind and solitude and tranquility while you have that rain pelting against your jacket. It's also just great to crack the windows open, have a cup of tea, and watch your favorite movie with a blanket. So I would have to say that's my favorite type of weather.
Great, thanks, Kelly. My name is Olivia LaWarn. I'm the engagement coordinator for the Coalition for the Delaware River Watershed, which is a part of the Government Relations Office. And I agree with Kelly. I like a nice drizzle, especially in the early spring when salamanders and the frogs are starting to come out, scuttle across the roads. I love me a good salamander crossing. That's the only kind of weather they're going to come out in. Thanks, everyone, for the introductions. And now we're going to turn it over to Drew for a policy update.
Hi, everybody. As we've mentioned on previous episodes, we do like to keep this light, but do want to give you some good, solid policy updates along the way. Not a ton to update this week, but hopefully next week we will have an exciting update at the federal level. Supposedly early this week, either late Monday night or Tuesday, we're going to see a draft bill from the House Democrats that will kind of be a marker bill about what the next coronavirus relief package is going to look at coming out of DC. And then we're going to be arguing over that, I'm sure, for the rest of the week. So hopefully next week when we record, we will have an update, and maybe the Senate and House will be closer to coming together to the next relief package that we all know is needed given the current state of the economy and how everyone is generally working from home, and so many of our fellow New Jerseyans and countrymen have lost their jobs and livelihood during this time. So we'll keep you updated, but that's really where we are this week. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our guest, Kelly Knutson, to talk about watershed signage. So Kelly, if you want to take it away.
Sure, thanks, Drew. So last week we celebrated a huge achievement in upstate New York by installing 14 entering the Delaware River watershed signs along major roadways that intersect with the watershed's boundaries. Since this past June, we've been working with our trusted partners in conservation to decide the best locations and roadways to enact these signs, and determining the process of how we would get there from this concept and idea to actual installment and erecting of these signs. So we've worked with our state lead in New York, Friends of the Upper Delaware Council, and other trusted partners there, in partnership with the Delaware River Basin Commission, DOT, Department of Transportation, also the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, to submit a proposal, which called for 14 signs. And we just heard great news that in early May, they were installed. So to celebrate this victory, we held a teleconference with Congressman Delgado, Assemblywoman Gunther, State Senator Metzger, as long as DOT, DRBC, etc., to celebrate this great and tremendous victory. We're hoping to use the success and leverage it in other states to help move their progress along. And it was appropriate because, you know, the headwaters of the Delaware River start in New York, and it makes its way down to the state of Delaware. And hopefully we can see some progress and successes in other states very, very soon.
So great, Kelly. Thanks for sharing such a tremendous success from your end as well. I know you were at the helm of this and organizing stakeholder meetings in New York and facilitating discussions across all of these partnerships. What's been, you know, now that New York, you know, we're celebrating a success and you have this whole process that you worked on, what was your favorite part of working on New York signage, and, you know, maybe some, you know, favorite partners, and how you felt about the project overall?
Yeah, I would say the achievement, you know, seeing these stalls and signs is such a great celebration and reward of all of this work that's been going on since this past June. Let's see, favorite partners. I mean, everyone's been a pleasure to work with. In the Upper Delaware, it's such a tight-knit community up there, and we have collaborations with the county offices and municipalities, also tourism to drive the economy, et cetera. So it's been this great dynamic of different players coming together to celebrate something that's going to be celebrated in the watershed for years and decades to come. And I want to say too, like, you know, we have signs that enter the Chesapeake, and now we kind of have our own stamp in the region as well, entering the Delaware River Watershed. So that's something to be celebrated, you know, to help elevate the area and increase awareness. And again, like I said, to drive that local tourism and economy.
So can you give an update on where we are in other states, like especially Pennsylvania, maybe New Jersey, and then of course Delaware as well?
Sure. So after we, you know, had the stakeholder meeting and submitted our proposal in New York, we simultaneously started to explore this project in all states, and did a similar process by holding these stakeholder meetings, bringing partners together, discussing ideas, concepts, etc. And, you know, we had success in Delaware submitting our proposal to DelDOT, and they're currently in the review of that. Actually today, by the end of this recording, hopefully we'll have a proposal submitted to NJDOT. And then in Pennsylvania, we hit a little bit of a roadblock, but we're working with the governor's office there to help make connections with PennDOT to further our proposal along.
Great. And Kelly, I know that the signs are still pretty new, but has there been any public reaction that you've heard from your partners up there?
Well, I know folks are trying their best to stay at home during quarantine, but our partner and state lead, Jeff Skelding, Executive Director at Friends of the Upper Delaware, went to do a Wegmans grocery run and came across a sign outside of Binghamton, I believe, and, you know, sent everyone a group text, a picture. And I think folks are just super excited to have this region recognized and to kind of create that stamp of knowledge. So, you know, I think folks will slowly come. I think we got a lot of press hits based on the teleconference, so that increase of awareness is starting to show, and we're starting to actually develop kind of a scavenger hunt. It's in the brainstorm idea right now, but hopefully once folks have the green light to travel, you know, we can kind of make it interactive and make sure that folks can see the different signs throughout the region and get on the road.
Thank you for sharing, Kelly. That sounds like such a great project. I'm so happy that we're continuing to push forward in the other states in the basin as well. Now, I wanted to end this episode with something that we like to do every episode, which is ask our guest or one of us, what are you sending in your coworkers' DMs during Zoom meetings that are going just a little too long? So Kelly, as our guest, what are you sending?
Yes, well, you know, most recently I've been sending updates about our new puppy that we welcomed to our household, with adorable pictures of baths and chewing and all that stuff. So more to come as well. We just welcomed him this weekend. His name is Scout. He's a 7-week-old Brittany Spaniel. And so we created a channel on our team meeting with all of our department to just share where we're at, to help kind of create that uniformity as we all go through this together. And I will definitely be sending a bunch of photos to my colleagues' DMs.
So how big is he going to get? I'm not familiar with Brittany Spaniel, you said?
Yeah. So typically they're like a hunting dog for ducks, but we're just going to treat him as a household companion. Right now he's about 7 pounds and will grow to be about 30, 35. So tons of growth to see. And I feel like he's growing already in the couple days that we've had him. So I'm really excited to just see where it all ends up. We have a kennel that mimics like an end table.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Hi, Scout. So there he is.
Hello.
So little.
Hi, Scouty. Are you tired? Yeah. Okay. They just want to say hi.
Hello.
Hi, Scout.
You're very cute.
You're so little.
Oh, big yawn.
Big yawn, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and make sure that you catch us next week. And until then, thanks.